Welcome back. Now, the Ministry of Tourism has rolled out a new initiative to identify new tourism products and package them in efforts to increase tourist arrivals from the current 2 million annually to about 20 million. Tourism Cabinet Secretary Dr.Alfred Mutua says the new initiative, dubbed Utalii Fresh, involves partnerships with counties in identifying hidden tourist gems as well as addressing infrastructure challenges to make tourists comfortable. Dr. Mutua detailed these plans in an exclusive interview with our reporter Irene Muchuma Odim on the sidelines of the fifth leg of the Utalii Fresh campaign in Kajiado County, and this is how the conversation went.
Good evening. Thank you for keeping it KBC Channel 1. Tonight we're discussing tourism matters, and on set with us we have none other than the Cabinet Secretary for Tourism, Dr. Alfred Mutua. This as we want to understand what is the state of tourism in the country, where are we heading to, and are we ready for the future? What is the market that we are giving priority? All this in the next few minutes. This as the national government has launched a countrywide campaign dubbed Utalii Fresh, Utalii Mashinani, one that is aiming at attracting more tourists to destinations in the country. Welcome on set, Bwana Waziri, and to kick us off, let's understand the state of tourism in the country. Where are we at today?
You know, the state of tourism in this country is that we are at a limbo. We are not growing. Tourism has been stunted for a very long time, despite Kenya being one of the most, if not the most beautiful, and I think the greatest country ever. We are very lucky. God really loves us to have given us the landscapes, the animals, the sights, the wonderful people. Kenya, the weather, we're so blessed. Yet we've really not taken advantage of what we have. You find countries that have very little to offer are getting more tourists than we are. So it makes us think and wonder, what went wrong where? Where did we start stagnating? So President William Ruto is very clear that our capacity to attract tourists is higher than what it is. For example, I went to the Bahamas. They are getting, it's an island of 22 kilometers long and 7 kilometers wide. And they get close to 10 million tourists. Countries like Spain are talking about 40 million tourists, same population as Kenya. You go to United Arab Emirates, they are talking about 20, 30 million tourists, you know, especially Dubai. And yet we've got much more to offer in this country than those nations. Why we've been struggling to get to 2 million? Now we've hit the 2 million mark. We're working hard. We are now aiming for 3 million, while others are talking about 40, 50 million. Our competitors in the continent of Africa are aiming towards 10 million. What went wrong? And it's because the product that Mzee Jomo Kenyatta left when he passed away in August 22nd, 1978, are the same products. You know, the same roots, the same initiatives, the same dances, the same cultural artifacts that you're selling are the same. We haven't expanded. So for us to bring in tourists, people to feel that they need to come to Kenya, we have to map out and create new things that are exciting to the minds of the new generation of tourists who are much younger, dynamic, and who are online.
There is this concern, and even I had you mentioning in Taita Taveta and also in Kwale while you're touring the tourist destinations in the area. Utalii umechoka. What are these new strategies that we are trying to put in place to ensure that we get back to where we were as a country, considering that the number of tourists today are not as flourishing to our expectations?
What it is Utalii umechoka because we are just, it's the same things. And we don't have very many exciting products, and our marketing is not as exciting as it should be. It's just been standard, you know, make a documentary here, make an ad here. Nobody is thinking creatively in terms of what the world needs today. So the first thing is, let's introduce new products. Let's grow this domestic tourism. Let's grow African tourism. When people come, and I travel, when I travel to a foreign country and I'm with my children, we'll sit there and we'll ask ourselves, what do we need to do in this area? We'll say, oh, there are waterfalls to see, there are all this to see, there are all this to see, you know what I mean? So each county in our country has things that we can bring people to see, which gives people an extra day or 2 or 3 in our country, Kenya, to spend money across the country. And so we want to grow these products. But even more important is that tourists want comfort. We don't just want masses, we want value. We want high value tourism, but they want comforts. Today I was in Narok and I asked the governor and his team, so you are a tourist here, you're driving from Nairobi, you've hit Mai Mahiu or Limuru, and you're coming from Mai Mahiu to the gate at Narok. How many kilometers? About nearly 100 kilometers. So how many rest areas are there for a toilet for a tourist who needs to go to the bathroom because they just had a helping of a soda in Limuru or Mai Mahiu? None. What do you have between Nairobi and there? None. What do you have between here and Amboseli? You know what I mean? So we've not engaged in comfort. It's very embarrassing, I have to tell you, that when I took over this docket, I found out very quickly that Mount Kenya is losing. People are going to climb Mount Kilimanjaro. Why? Because Mount Kilimanjaro, they have toilets. They have beautiful areas you can help yourself as you climb the mountain. In Mount Kenya, you're climbing the mountain for 3 days, apart from a few stations at the end of the day. As you climb for 12 hours and you need to relieve yourself, you have to go behind a rock and a bush. Now, which tourists will come? Which tourist groups will be brought here to climb Mount Kenya? None. So we've put money, and now we're actually building state-of-the-art toilets so that our tourists can have that comfort, tell their friends so they can come again.
Kajiado and Narok were the latest counties that you visited under the initiative Utalii Fresh, Utalii Mashinani. It's one that is aiming at earning more tourists to destinations in the country. Why now? Why this time of the year?
Why now? Because it is the right time to do it. I'm new in this ministry. Our president, brilliant president, William Ruto, has waived visas. So we've gotten an opportunity to bring visitors here. But you don't want to waive visas, then a few people come, check it out, and then there's no word of mouth. You know, we have to get to that tipping point where everybody wants to come to Kenya. And I want to run ads, I want to run ads that will make Kenya the bucket place for the world. I want to talk to KTB, and they're thinking about it. We go to places and we ask people, before you die, your bucket list, what do you want to do? Somebody says, well, I would like to go fishing in the Bahamas. I like to build a big house. I like to own a Chevy. And then I want to go to Kenya. And then I also want to study music. I want to learn to play this. They go to another country. They ask, you're in Japan? What is your bucket list? What do you like to do? Somebody says, well, I like to learn how to do spear fishing. I like to grow a big farm. I like to dine in a castle. I want to be able to drive a sports car. Or I have to visit Kenya. And then I want to be able to play in a music band. So that everybody's talking about, out of their 7-10 lists of bucket list, I have to go to Kenya. Simple marketing. But then what is there in Kenya? It can't just be the animals. It has to be more than just the animals, Filmmaking, sports tourism, all these things. Revamp them up. I'm telling you, somebody once said, build it and they will come. Create all these avenues and people will come.
What was it today? Early morning, you were in Kajiado County, and from the turnout of the Ma community, the issue of the Amboseli National Park being reversed back to the community from the national government, or let's say to the county government, could not go unmentioned. What's next for the Amboseli National Park?
The president promised the Ma Nation that Amboseli would reverse, and I'm saying the word reverse back to the county. Why am I saying reverse? Because originally it used to be a reserve. And then it was a reserve for some time, then it changed and became part of the park, run by the national government, so that national government could run it better at that time. And there were attempts to reverse it back to what it used to be, during, I think, the last days of Kenyatta, and quite a bit during Mwai Kibaki's days when I was the government spokesman then. But the process was not completed for whatever reason. So they have been waiting for that reversal because it has been shown that with the Masai Mara and other reserves, the community gets to benefit because this is part of the heritage, it's part of the devolution process for them. So I was able to go through the process, legal process, look at the constitution, everything, and appointed a committee, a transition committee that is going through all the stages that need to be met for the handover. And we are well advanced in terms of this process because the idea is it will reverse to the county government. County government will continue running it, but with the same standards that are being run by ourselves in the Ministry of Tourism and Wildlife. You know, we are training the arrangers, we're looking at the payment systems, the infrastructure, so that they do it the same way we used to do it, but then now the benefits are accrued more to the community, to the county. And then the national government, we're losing some revenue, but we're recovering that revenue with increased number of tourists and also with the expansion of new parks. I went to look at Chulu, you look at which is not really being utilized, look at the parks in the north, the parks in Ukambani, other places that we need to open up for tourists to go to. So that this is a process that is important, but it's on track.
All right, that aside, there is the issue of these products that are less marketed. Let's look at the Cheploch Gorge in Baringo, and another case in point is the paragliding in Kerio Valley. What happened, and how are we intending to re-embark on marketing these products so that we get tourists who are interested in them?
We've had hotels close. We've had lodges shut down. We've had adventure series cancel over the years because of various things. You know, COVID did not help, but also because of the enabling environment. Now, Kenya is at a new place. For example, let's talk about paragliding. Let's talk about zip lining. Let's talk about hiking. Let's talk about viewpoints, you know. And a case in point is one. There's a viewpoint for, I don't know, Kenyans who've traveled from Nairobi to Naivasha. There's a viewpoint on the escarpment on the way to Naivasha. Wonderful. People stand on the side. There are no railings. There is no information. There is no map saying that is that long or not, that is that. So I want to do something about it. And it's because government has not really done its share of work of providing the enabling environment. When it comes to places like paragliding, some of these dangerous sports, government also needs to provide, you know, some medical services, be able to provide some enabling environment like good toilets, changing rooms for people, and all that, you know. And when I say government, I just mean the national government, even the county governments, because that is the enabling environment that allows people to stay there, to do things. Yesterday, I was in Kwale, and they took me to a place where on the waters, there is a rock formation that is the shape of Africa. People go there to see. They like to get more people going there, you know what I mean? But then, if you're there, there is no parking area. It's just a bush. There are no comfort areas if you want to use a toilet. There is no curio shop or information center that tells you about it. So people just come and see and then go. Want to bring it so that people see, pay some little money for something, and leave the money here. I went to Mauritius, and in Mauritius, everywhere you go, you're paying. You're paying. You're going to see just a statue, you pay. You go see a small waterfall, you pay. You pay, you know, and that's the idea. And tourists will pay $1, $2. You pay $1, $2, you know, that's 200, 300 shillings. It means a lot to the collection kitty of a county, and it goes to the pockets of wananchi.
Agrotourism is one of the sectors that you've hardly mentioned of late, and this is one of the products that we can really maximize on their potential. What is your approach to this?
I'm looking at agriculture tourism, I'm looking at environmental tourism as one of the areas that I've told my teams to develop. Because people want to come here and go and see the, you know, the geothermal. People would like to come here and go and see the big windmills up there and how we are producing electricity. As you know, our country, Kenya, is doing very well. Over 93% of our energy is clean energy. That means you're not, you know, very little is coming from fossil fuel. which we need to get it to 100% clean energy, which is very good for us in terms of protection of the environment. There are very many environmental groups there would like to come. People would like to come on tours. We want to organize for them to come on tours and see how Kenya did it. How did we get to this level? What are we doing? And people will come, in addition to them seeing the animals or visiting the cities and others. There's also business tourism, you know, I may call it that, for investment. We want to market Kenya that you're not just coming to Africa just for the savannah, but you're coming to a country that is dynamic. You can go for shopping, you can establish businesses, you can do so much over here that Kenya and Nairobi, Mombasa, Kisumu, Machakos, name it. We are a dynamic country where an investor can put their money, that we're just like Paris, we're just like London, we're just like Berlin, we're just like New York. We are a multi-major city in the world, in a multi-major country in the world that people can come to and being able to get to do these things. So we're in a good place. We also look at medical tourism. I'll soon be meeting with all the, with many proprietors or owners of hospitals to give them the model of how they do it in India.
Of late, we have seen the Kenya Tourism Board expanding its reach also to Uganda. Are we intending to put more initiatives in working together with the East African community in uplifting our products?
I think there's also strength in marketing our region as a circuit, so that somebody who doesn't have money to come back, who has to choose between going to Zanzibar, going to see the Rwandese, or Ugandan, the gorillas, or seeing the savannah grasslands, or seeing the beach in Kenya, we want to be able to tailor products. Say somebody come here for 7 days or 8 days, you know, you come to Nairobi, experience the wonderful city of Nairobi that has been ranked as one of the best places to visit in the world, and then go down and see our national parks, go to Chulu, or go to Savo, or go somewhere else in this country, or Samburu, see our Big Five, and then from there, fly and see across the Lake Victoria, you know, maybe even take a cruise ship that we're looking at getting from Homa Bay or Kisumu all the way to Jinja in Uganda, drive across the border, see what they have in Rwanda, enjoy that, and then fly to, you know, Mombasa, have a wonderful time, then Zanzibar to meet your friends. So we combine, we see what's the best. So people can come, start in Tanzania, finish in Kenya, start in Uganda, finish in Kenya, start in Kenya, finish in Rwanda, so that it's a system whereby we get more tourists coming.
Thank you, Waziri, for your time. Looking forward to more, especially this as we continue with the Utalii Fresh, Utalii Mashinani campaign going round 47 counties. We're yet to know how far we will go with this and what will be the end products as we come to the end of this campaign. We have been having a one-on-one session with the Cabinet Secretary for Tourism, Dr. Alfred Mutua, who has been giving us an insight on the state of tourism, where we are today and what the future holds when it comes to tourism matters. My name is Irene Nchuma Odem. Back to you.